All right, Wanderlust rock climbing community. Today we have a McDowell Mountain classic. It's called Right Rib on Sven Tower 3. It's in this absolutely gorgeous canyon. It's actually on the back side of the McDowells, so sort of facing east. Here's me on the first pitch. Now, this is one of those spicy 5-6 trad climbs that everyone likes to make fun of on the internet. But there's some truth to it here. So the first bolt, and it is a mixed climb, this first pitch, so there's going to be gear placements and bolts. But the first bolt is at least 20 feet up, might be closer to 25. The climbing, it's 5-6, right? So it's McDowell 5-6. So what does that mean? If you're a gym climber, it probably would feel more like 5-8 to you. And if you're at a gym that grades really soft, it might feel more like 5-9. But grades are dependent on the area. So this is a McDowell 5-6. What makes it feel spicy, it's the insecurity of the slab climbing. So you see here, I have made it to the first bolt. Looks about 20 feet up. If I would fall before clipping this first bolt, it would not be a good thing. I would slide down and get all scraped and might break a leg if I got stuck in that flake below. So anyway, even though it's 5-6, having clipped that first bolt, now I feel a lot better. Get the rope out from behind my leg there. It's not as steep as it looks on video here. So I would love for everyone to think that I'm climbing this ridiculously steep slab, but this is actually pretty low angle. And the trick really is just finding those good feet, trusting those feet. And that's where this sort of climb can feel quite difficult for those that have not experienced slab climbing like this. Just because I live so close to the McDowells, this is primarily the type of outdoor climbing I do. So I've started to get pretty comfortable on these slabs. So like I said, this first pitch is mixed. So you'll find bolts where gear placements are not possible. But you see now I've come up to this beautiful crack, and so I'm going to get in some gear here. So I'm reaching for, it looks like a black diamond number 1. One thing you'll notice in this video is, so I do have a double rack, and instead of getting all black diamond, like one rack is black diamond, and then my other rack is wild country. And I really like the wild country cams probably a little bit better. I love their extendable slings. So here on this black diamond, I'm having to add an alpine draw and extend this placement. And for a lot of placements on a wild country, you don't have to do that. So looking up ahead here, I noticed the next bolt is another 15 or 20 feet above where I am. So one rule, you'll hear me mention it all the time, that we want to follow is we want to keep we're talking about trad placements, we want to keep 2 pieces between us and the hospital. And so even though I just placed a piece, because that next bolt is pretty far away, I'm going to get in another piece right here. And it looks like I'm struggling to find the right size. I think I go back to the 2. Another reason I like having both Wild Country and Black Diamond cams is the color scheme is the same and the size numbers are the same. However, the Wild Country cams are just a little bit bigger than the Black Diamond cams. So really, by buying the Wild Countries, it's like I almost have half sizes for Black Diamond. And I have found many instances where, maybe a Black Diamond number 1 is pretty tricky to place, but a Wild Country one is just the perfect size. So by splitting my rack between 2 brands, I really, I have a bunch of different sizes. I found that to be a really nice perk. And again, the helmet cam makes it look so steep. Don't get me wrong, it's steep. If you slipped and you didn't have gear, you'd be going all the way to the ground. But it's not quite as difficult as it looks. Probably the crux on a climb like this is it's really mental. It's because there is this run out between bolts and gear placements. As you can see, what I'm doing here is, so it's my feet that are going to keep me on this wall. My fingertips can certainly help. They can give me that little edge. No pun intended. But really, finding those big foot edges or big first slab, that is the key here to making this climb feel as secure as possible. You can see the run out there all the way down to that gear placement. It's probably 20 feet. So that was the last bolt on this climb, and now I'm getting to the physical crux of the climb. So you'll see in a minute I get to this horizontal crack, and then above that is a roof. It's not an overly difficult roof. What makes it interesting is it's an off-width. So I go left side in, and then I place a piece in there, and then there's this really awkward grunt type beached whale move to try to get through that off-width. All right, so here's that horizontal crack I was talking about. And now again, I'm 15 or 20 feet above that last bolt. So I do want to get something in. And it's going to be a beautiful number 5, Black Diamond. You can see my belayer all the way down there. I was wearing sunglasses, so I had to actually take off my glasses and so I could see into this crack to make sure that placement was good. I noticed when I went to extend this and clip the rope that there was going to be weird leverage on a carabiner. So look at that. So I did not like that leverage. Leverage like that can break carabiners. So what I'm going to do is simply girth hitch a sling so that there's no leverage on that carabiner. And in retrospect, so I girth hitch it to the sling on the cam. I probably should have girth hitched it to the loop on the cam. So it's probably not a huge issue. So So I'm about to do a roof, so I definitely want this extended placement, and now you can see there's no weird leverage right there. If I had not extended that placement, rope drag basically would have prevented me from progressing above. I would have gotten stuck. All right, here's this awkward off width. You don't really have to climb this move with off width technique. It is possible to climb the face. If it wasn't possible to climb the face, this climb would probably be rated a bit stiffer just for this move. So here's my first wild country cam I'm placing. You can see the extendable sling in there is nice. I'm gonna have to extend it again anyway, just because it's way deep in that crack. So if you're a new trad climber, this is one of the primary reasons you use these alpine draws. It's to manage rope drag. You do not want the rope running into that crack and then out of that crack. Like I have said, rope drag will completely, you'll get to a point where you can't move anymore and you have to down climb. It's very dangerous. All right, so now I'm doing the off width move. I'm trying to climb on the outside here. Eventually I do get my body in that crack. And I think that's more of a mental thing. On lead, you want to feel more secure. So see, I'm getting a chicken wing in there, and I'm gonna jam a leg in there. And it's not beautiful climbing, but it certainly feels more secure. And I do know that if I fall here, even though I have two great pieces below me, those pieces are not gonna stop me from hitting the slab. So that fall would not be fun. It would hurt a lot. I might break an ankle. So I really don't want to fall at this point. And I've taken out the sound here because it's so obnoxious with the camera hitting things, but I was grunting and puffing and huffing through that for sure. And now, again, you know, I'm way above my last pieces. And so I want to keep two pieces between me and the hospital. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to place two pieces right here. Looks like I went for a 0.75, a bit too small, so I'm going for a black diamond number 1. I know where the climb goes from here, and I'm not concerned about rope drag, so I'm not going to extend that piece. Notice the rack on my right side is almost depleted, and I have a bunch of cams on my left, which is because I'm right-handed. Subconsciously always reach for stuff on the right first. Okay, here's a wild country number 1. That looks great. And there's the extendable sling, which is just, again, really nice. want to make sure I grab the rope above that piece so I don't Z-clip. If you Z-clip, if I grabbed below the one that's already clipped, I would be Z-clipped and would not be able to climb above. One issue here is you place these pieces in the crack, and often you need the crack to climb. So I have all this junk in the crack now, which is really where I want to place my feet. And at this point, I can see the chains. I'm about to move out onto a ledge, a pretty long ledge. And so I don't feel a need to place another piece. It would just, I'd be stopping in an awkward spot. I might as well just move on ahead to the chains. All right, here I am setting up my quad, pre-rigged, all ready to go, pre-built before I started climbing. I'll flip that carabiner so that it's screwing down. And then even though I'm on a nice ledge, I am going to throw in a personal anchor. Just make sure I'm nice and secured in here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie in with a clove hitch, and I want to be able to see my follower. If I just belay from right here, I won't be able to see my follower climb. So this is really going to be my safety tether. And what I did is I made it long enough so that I could step out onto that ledge, and I'll be able to belay from there. So now I've pulled up the rope, and I'm putting my partner, Kalina, my follower, on belay. Double checking everything. I am going to move away from this gree-gree. So I could have built an extended master point with the rope, but I'm not moving so far away from the gree-gree that I can't get back to it quickly if I needed to. So I'm not going to build an extended master point. I'm just going to kind of step out here. I'm clove hitched in, and then I can just belay my follower right here, and I'll be able to see her. And you can see her down there. Beautiful views in the McDowells. I think this area is really underrated. I would love to see more people out doing these climbs. There's a few areas in the McDowells that seem to get all the traffic, and people just either don't know about this stuff, or maybe they don't have the trad skills needed. But we have these hidden gems right outside of Phoenix. It's just amazing climbing. So here's Kalina. She's got the backpack. This is multi-pitch. So she's got our water. She's got our first aid kit. We've got headlamps. The Now Kalina is going to take the lead, and these are actually going to be her first multi-pitch leads, trad or otherwise. So this was an awesome day for Kalina. You can see she slung a horn up there, and this is another mixed pitch, so she's going to get to bolts at that point. And now here's me following the pitch that she just led. And now here's Kalina leading the third pitch. This is another really fun pitch. So she's going over a chasm right now. It's like a 50-foot drop right below her. And then this pitch is not mixed at all. This is actually, it's not actually a part of right rib. This is called the head route. And it's probably 5'6", but it requires gear placements the whole way. There are no bolts. So you go up those cracks, and then you place 2 bomber pieces before those cracks, and then where she is right now, it's 25 or 30 feet of run out to the summit. The climbing's not hard, but it is another mental crux, because if you fall, it will be quite unpleasant, and you'll be falling on those trad pieces far below. So she crushed it. Now I'm going over this little chasm. You want to make sure your belayer doesn't like pull you into it. So we were communicating here. I was saying, hey, don't pull me. So I just shouted out, hey, I'm across. Now you can, up rope. We got out of there. It was getting dark. Tends to happen with multi-pitch. We saw this beautiful moonrise. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. I'm trying to make these videos specifically about Arizona climbing. So thanks for your support. Thanks for watching the video.